Shalom, this is your Ark. Yah is magnified. Coming back with another informative video. I titled this video, Creditor, Debtor. But before I tackle this subject, as always, I must state for the record, I'm not a lawyer, I do not practice law, and I do not pretend to. All my videos are for informational and educational purposes only. They're all facts and all truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so I want to make this quick video for my brother that sent me this in his sent me this in my email. He didn't send a gift yet, but I just wanted to do a video on this to help other brothers and him, everyone to receive better information and better understanding of what's going on when dealing with this thing called child support, okay? Because we must all understand that everything in America runs on a continuous series of contracts, and everything in America is commercial, okay? Everything. When I say everything, I mean everything, okay? So now, let's read this document right here so we can get better understanding. This document was done in New York State. So if you're in New York State, this is a good look for you. If you're not in New York State, this is a good look for you. Why? Because it's the same in all states. Some states just put it right out there in front of your face. Other states try to hide it. But New York State put it right in front of your face. So let's pick this up. It states New York State Child Support Processing Center, right? Upper left-hand corner. But let's go to this box right here in the right-hand corner. We know about the four-corner rule when dealing with paper. If you do not know about the four-corner rule dealing with paper, go back and do your research on that, okay? But let's read what it states in this box written right here in the right corner of the, the upper right-hand corner of this document. It states, the judgment creditor is the state of New York. Now, that right there should let off codes and any type of warnings in your mind and let you know that something is just not quite right with that statement. So let's read it again. The judgment creditor is the state of New York. So the first question that's coming to your mind is, okay, if the judgment creditor is the state of New York, what did the state of New York loan me that I have to pay back or that I'm indebted to? Okay? Which makes me the debtor, and what credit was loaned to me that makes me the debtor? Okay? That's one of the questions you should ask. That should be the first question you should ask when dealing with this document. But let's continue. It says, or any of its agencies or municipal corporations and or the debt enforced is for child support, spousal support, maintenance, or alimony. Okay, so we all see that clear as day. Okay, so the creditor, according to this document, is the state of New York. But let's continue. The state of New York, county of Queens, right? We're going to call the obligor Mrs. Smith, who was the petitioner. But even underneath the petitioner, it states judgment creditor / obligee. Now, hold on. How can Miss Smith be the judgment creditor and obligee and the state of New York be the judgment creditor obligee? Who loaned you anything? And how can both of them say they the judgment creditor? But let's continue, because obligee is another term for what? Creditor. Obligor is another term for what? Debtor. That's it. But let's continue. My author sent this document. We're going to call him Fatilius, right? And he's the respondent, but they got him down as what? The judgment debtor / obligor. To who? I guess this so-called Mrs. Smith, the petitioner, which is his child's mom, and also the state of New York or one of its agencies or municipal corporations. Okay? But let's continue. Let's stroll up. Let's read right here. They sent this to his bank account, Navy Federal Credit Union. Let's pick this up where it states, whereas, in an action in the Supreme or Family Court of the state of New York, Queens County, between the above named parties in favor of Miss Smith, petitioner, judgment creditor / obligee, and against Fatilius, respondent, judgment debtor / obligor, the following orders were entered. Okay? 0 back in 2010, but right now they say as of November 13, 2019, the total child support debt is due and unpaid is $18,900. Okay? So now the key words in this whole document is judgment creditor and judgment debtor. Okay, so let's go to the Black Law Dictionary real quick to get better understanding of these terms. So let's go. Okay, so let's pick this up at the top right hand corner, guys, where it says debt. Okay, because as the paperwork stated, that there's a child support debt that is due. But in only for us to know that there is a child support debt that is due, we must understand what the definition of debt means. Okay, to determine is what they say is true or not. Okay, but let's pick this up at the top. It says debt, a sum of money due by certain and express agreement. So there must be what? Money due by certain, and it must have a what? An expressed agreement. What is an expressed agreement? Expressed agreements are what? Contracts. It's just that simple. It's an agreement between two people. Okay? Anything that's an agreement between two people is contract, and it must be an expressed agreement. Okay? Meaning, all parties must have what? True understanding, and all parties must come to that agreement. Okay? You cannot be forced to that agreement. You have to voluntarily enter into that agreement. Okay? But let's continue. Let's go to debtor, since they claim that he is the debtor. Let's go there to see what a debtor is. Okay, middle of the page, guys. Right hand corner, debtor. It says one who owes a debt. Okay, so basically, if you break that down, it's one who owes on an expressed agreement, or one who owes on an expressed contract. Okay, that's what a debtor is. But also, let's see, because they also call him a what? An obligor. So let's read the fine print right here, guys. Fine print at the bottom. In the middle of the page, right underneath where it says debtor. It says the term may be used synonymously with obligor. So whenever you see the term obligor, just replace it for debtor. Whenever you see the term debtor, then know that it's one that owes a debt. If it's one that owns a debt, we know a debt is an expressed agreement. So is an obligor is a debtor who owes a debt on an expressed agreement or in a written contract. It's just that simple, guys. Understand what's really going on. But let's continue, okay? Now let's go to judgment creditor, since they claim to be the judgment creditor. Boom. Judgment creditor. One who has obtained the judgment against his debtor, under which he, upper top left hand corner, can enforce execution. Okay? But it clearly states one who has obtained the judgment against his debtor, meaning one who has obtained the judgment against the one who he has a private agreement with, or an expressed agreement with, or an express contract with. Okay? So in order for them to have a judgment against you, there must be an express agreement or express contract in order for them to get that judgment against you. But let's continue. It says at the bottom, upper left corner, the last line, it says the owner of an unsatisfied judgment. Now let's go to judgment debt, since they claim that there is a debt. Let's continue. One which is evidenced by matter of record. Let's pick it up at the top line. It says a debt, whether on simple contract or specialty. So again, it's instead of them saying special agreement, it's now saying special contract. That's it, but it's still the same thing. It's an expressed agreement. So let's continue. For the recovery of which judgment has been entered up, either upon a cognizant, or upon a warrant of attorney, or as a result of a successful action. But the key word in this title is, that's why they have it written in italicized letters. It says cognizant. What is a cognizant, guys? A cognizant is nothing but a consent to an agreement. But let's continue. Let's go there. I'm gonna show you guys that too. Let's go there. Boom. Cognizant. Legal definition in Latin. He has conceded an acknowledgement of a debt or liability in form of the debtor's written consent to a judgment taken against the debtor by the creditor, if a particular event does or does not occur. You see? So there must be a written agreement between the two, or you giving your consent to the judgment. That's why majority of these documents, they say consented by, and they have all parties' signatures on it if you choose to sign and consent to it. They need your written consent in order for them to proceed forward, because the debt do not exist unless you consent to it. Okay? But let's continue. Let's go back. Let me see if did I miss anything. Let me see did I miss anything before I leave off. That's basically it, guys. That's basically what I just want to show you all today. So let's go back to the main page. So in order again, guys, before there can be a judgment creditor, there must be a what? It must be a debt. In order for there to be a before there's a judgment debtor, creditor, there must be a debtor. In order for it to be a debtor, there must be a debt. In order for it to be a debt, it must be an expressed agreement somewhere that that requires you to act on behalf of someone else. Okay? So with that being said, that's what I'm gonna do for today. If you all need my help, hit me up in my email at y'allismagnified@gmail.com. If you guys cannot afford the gift, that what the videos are for, okay? My videos are not monetized. Okay? So you have some people saying that they help you guys for free, but their videos are monetized now. No, my videos are not monetized. So you guys, if you can't afford the gift and you're going through hard times, that what these free videos are for, okay? So again, my videos are not monetized. Okay, so for those who claiming to help you for free, but their videos are monetized, hey man, like I said, people have their own agendas too, man. So pay close attention to what's going on. But again, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys be blessed. Like, share, and subscribe. With that being said, I say shalom.